Hello, welcome everybody. Today is the first day of the uh, new event. If we look under events, the new event is Voth Invictus. You can see it rewards this kit module, right? And if you equip it, and then when you activate it, it basically places you inside one of the Voth exosuits with a bunch of tactical abilities and special attacks and all sorts of things. Looks to be a really cool kit module. Some of the things in these events, if you're just going for the event, you're not worried about the event campaign. Some are worth skipping, I would say. This one, I wouldn't recommend that you skip. I would recommend you get this. In fact, I'm gonna get this on all my accounts, because I would just hate to not have it on account. It looks really cool. I will show you the blog post about it here shortly. But as time is ticking down on it starting, I had to wait for the patch to go live, and then I had an appointment, so I just got back. So this is my first opportunity to play it. So I'm ready to go ahead and get into it and get it going on this new account, because I want to be able to get as many days in, because this is the second event that counts towards the annual event progress, which of course rewards you with a premium ship, 200% off coupons to get 2 tier 6 ships out of the store, which are account unlocks for every character on your account, or you can get 1500 low buy, which is you can use to either get a low buy ship plus a little extra, or buy low buy weapons or ground equipment or anything like that. So I'm going to go through and we're going to do all of these options, the 2 TFOs, and doing a section of the Voth Battleground. I'm going to do them on different accounts so I can get daily progress for all of them. But for first off, we are going to do the Voth Battle Zone on the new free-to-play account. That's the one I'll start with. I'll start with the ground one, and then we'll do the space TFOs. All right, so let's look at the map. This map is basically done. Seems there's a lot of people here doing the Voth battle zone. You want to do that. Go if you bring up the map until it change instance. Okay, look, now we see we are now on a map that is there's a lot of red zones, so zones that need to be flipped. So what you need to do is flip control of a zone. So that's what we're gonna run out here and go try to flip control of a zone to get credit for the day.
You are at an artillery point. Deactivate groups of...
Shut up. Why are you coming back on help, like, out of nowhere? I really hate that when the help system just comes back on out of nowhere. What you're going to want to do is each one of these has multiple steps. You're going to want to disable all of them, which means you have to work through the steps. I think we can do this by ourselves. If it turns out we can't because they will reset after it says 3 minutes. And we may move on to a different one of the there's multiple types of control points here, spots on the map to take control of. Like most of these battle zones, they're not all the same. Some are easier than others. This one I tend to like. So usually I tend to like it because usually when I'm here, it's because I have the daily endeavor of killing Voth on the ground, and I like that this one they'll respawn. I'm up to 4 or 5. So this should be 5 of 5 right here. Okay. Now I just have to defeat the reinforcements. Which, see, that is... I'm assuming when they say that you turn into an exosuit, that is what you are going to do, because the abilities they describe as far as the... whoop. In the blog posts are the things that the Seropticid class exosuit does. Such as it's got an invulnerability shield that it can activate. It's got that magnetic thing that pulls you into it. It's got that artillery strike thing that it just did that just killed me. Which wasn't really any fun, was it? It's got that cannon spray thing. Okay. Daily event progress. Experience points. Dyson marks. So, nice. So if we look at the event, you can see that was probably... normally, I don't choose the ground options. Usually, I go for the space TFOs in these events. But you can see that was actually very easy. And if we had had somebody else, because these battle zones are open, you know what I mean? So you're running around, which sometimes can be a pain. That's why I looked on the map, and I picked the instance that had the fewest number of players. And luckily, it had freshly reset. But look how many have already turned blue. Okay, a lot of them. A lot of times, the biggest trouble you have with these is just getting an opportunity to do them because of all the other players playing them. So I am going to log out. I'm going to switch accounts here. All right, this is my main account. Just need to figure out which character I want to play, I guess. You know what, this will do. Oh wait, I'm gonna do a space one. So maybe I should pick based off of what ship. My Ferengi character. You know what? Whatever. I'm gonna go with this one. This time we're gonna do a TFO. I actually have a
The
reputation.
time has come.
Go away. I actually have a reputation on this account that's not finished. See, they're almost all tier 6. Now, I shouldn't have any problem playing this because I lay out my toolbars very similar for any ship that I am playing. So we'll play a carrier ship this time. This is the Jem'Hadar Vanguard carrier. We are going to go once again into events. And this time we are going to do Storming the Spire. That'll be more fun with this carrier. And then I'll do the Breach with one of my other ships. I'm trying to remember which of my other 2 accounts has my Andorian pilot ship on it. That's the one I'd like to do that event with, because having that or that TFO with, because having that extra maneuverability will be a plus. I'm going to launch my Cardassian Yukara frigates. I'm going to link my wingman. That's over here. That's a Jem'Hadar Vanguard special ability for the Jem'Hadar Vanguard ships. That's these wingmen here. They can do 3 things. They can either do physical damage to a target, they can do shield damage to a target, or they can heal your ship. It's a really useful mechanic, I would say, out of the specialty mechanics for the various different C-Store ships. This is a good ship. I like it. I'd recommend it. It also has, if you have the console equipped, which I do, I can drop the support ship off the back. And that console you can use on any of the... I don't think it's any, but any of the Jem'Hadar ships I can use it on. If you use it on a ship that isn't this one, it doesn't detach from your ship. It just summons it in. One of the reasons I like detaching it though from this ship is that it makes this carrier turn and handle a lot better. So you see how it's got troop strength there, that little bar right over here. The way this works is you have the Voth landing troops here on this side to the right of the screen. They're landing troops on this side of the tower, and the Alliance is landing them over here on the other side, but they're putting up these turrets over on this side. And so you have to destroy the turrets, because otherwise they'll shoot down the transport ships. And they also have some combat ships over here, see? These frigates and whatnot. This hangar is an intelligence class ship. I control my wingman. I can tell him to shoot. at my target. Generally, what you want to do here is you kind of want to split your group of 5 up so that some are on one side of the tower, destroying the turrets and protecting your troop transport. See that there's a troop transport over here landing, and the other ones are on the other side, preventing the enemy troops from landing. And I'm flying a hangar ship, carrier ship, which is a science ship, basically. But this is a tactical pilot. So you can see I have a attack pattern alpha. As well as there's tactical fleet. I'm also using the Cardassian consoles here that deploy these missile platforms and spiral wave disruptor turrets. That's a good pack to get, is the Cardassian pack. I like it a lot. The Cardassian pack is one of the only one, if not the only one, that not every carrier or even like dreadnoughts that have hangar bays have frigates. A frigate takes up the whole slot rather than having 3 fighter squadrons in a row. And you can see that all of my frigates are 5 stars because frigates are tough. One big ship, obviously, versus a bunch of fighters or a bunch of medium-sized ships like the new runabouts or Delta Flyer type-sized shuttles. You get 4 of those, or whatever, 6 fighters, 3 and 3. They're hardier. They stay alive better, but generally, while most of the fighters and the runabouts and the smaller ships, they can be used with in any hangar slot. The frigates, usually you can only use generally one specific one that's unique to them. Like the Jem'Hadar ship actually came with Jem'Hadar frigates, obviously. The Cardassian Yukara frigates, Yukawa frigates, are very unique in that they can be used in any hangar bay. So if you have a dreadnought, say like the Enterprise, the later Enterprise, not the E, but the F1 that still has detached saucer and all that stuff, but it has the 3 nacelles instead of the 2. The one that was from the TV show that came from the future or whatever. It has a hangar bay, but there are no frigates for that ship. So you can only use like shuttle bays and stuff. But if you have the Yukawa, once again, frigates from the Cardassians, you can use those with any ship. And they use the spiral wave disruptors, which are good weapons. See, I have the spiral wave disruptors. They act as both disruptors and as phasers. You get both those abilities. So they have the chance of disabling a subsystem, and they also reduce damage resistance by 10. They have the chance to reduce the damage resistance of your target by 10. So you get the special ability of the generic disruptors and of the generic phasers. And they have this cool yellow wrapped in black color scheme, which you may or may not like. It's somewhat similar to the like anti-protons, how they're red wrapped in black, except these are yellow wrapped in black. As far as beam color, I like them. You also get these weapons if you have a Cardassian ship. You can they start with spiral disruptors on them, but they're the white ones. But if you have a ship, i.e. a Cardassian ship, that came with spiral disruptors, then in the dilithium store you can buy the purple versions. So you can certainly get them. You see how often I'm launching these turrets and whatnot, the Cardassian ones. If you have all three of the consoles, it cuts the cooldown way down on the Spiral Wave Disruptor Blast, which is this, and then also the cooldown time on the turrets. You can also see that basically my shields are holding up. I'm not having any trouble at all staying alive. My ship isn't exploding or dying like you've seen on my my new free-to-play account that only has 2 characters on it. That is not because of the pay stuff that I have on this account. This is my main account. I have spent money on it. Like this ship, I bought this ship. You know what I mean? And some of the other Jem'Hadar ships and various different things. I have bought stuff. But that's not the difference. The difference is basically just that like my reputations on this account are all up to tier 6. So that helps. So that means that all my space skills, ground skills, the reputation ones, not only do I have my choice of any of the ones that I want, but when you get to tier 6, all of those skills get upgraded to level 2 from the original ones they started out. That's what they did. That's what they add. One of the things they added for getting to tier 6 when they added in tier 6 is it makes all your existing skills you've already unlocked stronger, which is a nice plus. And also that all my equipment is all Mark 15. You can see it's all Mark 15. Oh well, those are Mark 14, but that's just because those tactical consoles. I just haven't gotten around to replacing those. Those will be replaced with either the ones from the Spire, the fleet holding Spire, which also have either critical vulnerability, critical vulnerability locators, or I don't remember what the 2 are called, but one boosts crit severity, one boosts critical chance. I will either swap out those tactical consoles for those, or there are ones at the colony. There's the Lucari ones that have the proto matter thing that has like for each one you have on there has like a 25% chance when you're attacking to trigger a like an active regeneration heal that's going on your ship, or the Kantari ones which will sit there and boost your damage. Okay, where's the Voth ship? Oh, it's giving us a chance for it to load in. There it is. And you can see I am managing to stay alive, and this is even with the heavy attack craft deployed off the back, which while it does make me move faster, it reduces my hit points and my shield hit points. But I find that it's definitely worth it for the additional speed and maneuverability to be able to position my weapons where I want. Okay, we destroyed the dreadnought. Now the last part of this is there's going to be these escape shuttles taking off over here. Off this side, there's going to be these shuttles out here that are going to be taking off with they have Voth stealing omega molecules, basically. Hey, where are they? There we go. Yeah, good luck getting through my fleet of ships here, basically. So basically, I have my carrier, I have my wingman, I have my heavy attack craft deployed, I have turrets that I can deploy here in space. I have all of this going on. So if you like playing as a carrier, it's hard to find a much better one, honestly, in my opinion, than the Jemadar Vanguard carrier, because you get the wingmen. So those are basically extra ships that you can target. So that's 2 more ships that you have in addition to whatever you decide to load in your 2 hangar bays, right? That just gives you 1 more, and it's got the intel specification, which I love these electromagnetic pulse probes. They are awesome. They cause damage and disable whoever you shoot them at, basically. They're like the ones that the heralds use. And using that ability, if I remember correctly, that triggers. Yeah. When activating Intel Bridge Officer abilities or the Mask Energy Signature Science ability, my hangar pets do plus 5% bonus damage, minus threat generation, plus 4,000 stealth, and plus 15 defense. So my basically makes all my hangar pets, which are your ships that you launch out of your carrier hangars, makes them do a little bit more damage, but mostly it makes them not be targeted, not be seen as threats, makes them stealth for the duration. So basically, it increases their survivability. And you saw when I had them out how they got up to like 5 stars. So the longer they stay alive, the more stars they get, and then their stats go up based off of how long they've been out and alive and not wiped out. So yeah, you can keep reloading new ones as they get wiped out. I mean, there's a cooldown, but you can keep refilling as they're getting destroyed. But if they don't get destroyed, then they get stronger. And so that's where frigates tend to have an advantage, is because they have so many more hit points, shield. They're just so much sturdier that it's a lot easier to get them up to the higher star ratings. and that's not something that like sticks around battle to battle. That's just on literally that group. So once they get destroyed or unsummoned or anything like that, then that no longer applies to the next group. So that's why it's good to keep your guys alive. Okay. This is. I'll do this account in a minute. That wasn't the one I want. I wanted to do. Like I said, I'm now up to 4 accounts that I play. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay. That's my Andorian pilot ship. I've got my main account, my original main account that I've had for the longest time, that I've spent money into. Then I have this account, which is actually my my son's account. This is
The reports from Earth are
this is my
em-
this is my ice based character. On each one of my accounts, and then I have my my third account that I started after I've been playing for. Still had duty officer assignments from Christmas event on this character. Okay. Then I have my account. I have my son's account, which he still plays once in a blue moon. He only has one character on the account. I've got like the other 19 characters on his account. But he had bought some ships in the C store, and I wanted to play around with them a bit, use their consoles, use their ships. So I started playing his account like on the regular. He can certainly play it whenever he wants. You know what I mean? Like I've got other accounts I can play, so it's not like if he wanted to play, I'd be like, oh well, then what am I gonna play? But so I've got that account, and then I created a free to play account just to see. This was multiple years ago. I don't know. Let's say 3 years ago ish. I created an account where I wanted to literally, and that's the account that I'll load up next. Where I didn't spend any money. Now I do have lots. I've got a handful of ships that I've unlocked um, in the Zen store, as well as like some combat pets and things like that. That were like say in Mud's Market that were from before I started playing that account. I've unlocked Cations and Ferrisons, which are both inexpensive, but they're races that you pay for. But I did all of that by doing the exchange and buying Zen. So see, look, there's actually some Zen for sale right now. It's 500 dilithium per, right? But somebody actually has some. It's at the max price, but is actual Zen that you can buy, 500 dilithium per Zen, uh, which used to be kind of a crazy price. It used to float around the 200, well, between $200 and $300. So usually around 250 was probably the average. Um, but lately there have been less people buying Zen. I mean, buying dilithium for Zen. So you can get the max price. They won't let you set it any higher than 500. But yeah, so there is right now 13,000, which is like $131 worth of Zen that somebody is selling at the maximum price. So there is some clearly available. Oh, so here you see this is the console, the Summon Heavy Attack Craft console from the Cardassian ship. So yeah, it's clearly they're not locked to their Cardassian ship because I've got it here on my Andorian ship. So that's a universal console. But this is a pilot ship. It's an Andorian ship. It's got the Breen visual shield on it. The Breen shield is actually a shield, but you can put it in your visual slot and just use the visual for it. I think it's cool looking. But I've got so many characters that at one point, you saw my main account. I had a character called Rimuru Tempest. That was my lightning character. This character is my ice character. So space and ground. I'm trying to use, all these sort of ice abilities. So like very cold in space. You know what I mean? Endothermic inhibitor beam. Well, that one doesn't count, but I think that's cryo. Yeah, eject cryoplasma. So all the ones that do basically cold damage. I'm trying to build. I've decided I'd do an elemental. Elemental damage is fairly rare in Star Trek Online. Electric is more common. Cold is maybe one of the rarest, but there are things you can get from the Breen, as well as from the Christmas event, particularly. There are ice abilities. There are some fire abilities in the summer event. But fire, because of the Felkiri, there tend to be a lot more fire abilities. And then electrical, I mean, there's just some regular space abilities and things that do electrical damage. So that's not as rare either. But I tried to do one of each of the three elemental types of damage basically in this game, just as a something fun to try.
The Voth Fortress ship is vulnerable. It's time to attack.
Okay,
Our plan
I would say
is
out
by
of the
thousand
three
cuts. We'll
of your
destroy
options, I don't hate this one. It can be fun. It's not anything I remember being particularly like annoying about it or anything like that. Um, but I would say this one probably takes the longest out of your three options here. I'd say the ground one can be the fastest, so long as if you go in there, there are maps that are not basically already, kind of completed. If they're already all blue, like all of them are all blue. Then that goes the fastest. But you could potentially run into issues, depending on how many people are playing and how many maps, because it won't let you just make a new map by yourself. It scales the number of maps to like the number of players that are currently in it. So you got to kind of factor that in. If and it puts 15 people per map, so like, if there's just, like say there's 28 people already in there and they're split fairly even, well, then you're going to hop in there into a map that's already full. And you could have to wait potentially until they finish. So the way the pilot ship works is you've got this little bar down here that fills back up. And then whenever it's full, you can do one of these maneuvers, like you can shoot forward, you can shoot ahead, you can do like a roll, like a barrel roll, and you just do that by double tapping the WASD type skill. And then use this point where you can just rally at the breach site, so you don't actually have to fly there just as long as the first person gets there. We just blow open the door. Then we go inside the ship. And if you're wondering about my engine effect with those blue trails, that is the, like I said, I have the Breen shield on. Oops. Get off the wall here. That is the Breen engine that makes those cool blue trails. And once again, I'm not actually using that engine. Am I? Oh, I guess I am. I guess I am actually using it. I'm actually using the Breen set for the cold damage stuff. So I am actually using them, but you don't have to use them. You can put them in your visual slots if you just want the look, and then you can use whatever equipment you actually want to use. I like these pilot abilities, the attack pattern lambda. Plus 50 accuracy, plus 500 perception, and it confuses and placates the enemies. So what you want to do here is, okay, there's nothing in that one, so that's not the one. There'll be one that has a core thing in it that you destroy. And the great thing about the ship, that backup thing, that's usually the one that you're going to want to use the most. Because it basically gives you a second strafing attack run on it. So if you have forward-facing weapons, a lot, like I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I've got some dual beam banks and things like that on this. Those have narrow focus, or if you're running like the 45-degree angle dual heavy cannons, something to that effect. This is kind of like a shell game. These things open and close. You tell it to open it. And inside one will be the sub power core. See, that one's a fake one. So the real one's probably over here where everybody's at. Yeah, that one's real, so he doesn't have a question mark. And the goal is to destroy that thing, and don't let yourself get crushed in this when it closes. Okay, we destroyed the sub power core. Now we can go this way. Now we have to destroy the main core. Oh, you know, this one's actually not the one I was thinking of. There's another Voth one where you fly through a whole Voth ship and you it's like a giant hangar ship and you destroy all the ships inside of it and stuff. I think this one is more like of a Star Wars Return of the Jedi Death Star thing, where you like fly inside and destroy the core from inside, and then you have to get out. You got to fly back out quickly. But maybe this one isn't necessarily as long as the one I was thinking. You see, it's got these rotating shield thingies around it. See, if I fly back, then it's like, oh look, now I get a chance to line back up and like drop my torpedoes or whatever in. And this reroute power, emergency power to the energy weapons thing, that's a pilot ship thing. That's pretty dope too. No, that's not the way out. Gosh darn it. Because it makes your weapons fire faster. Now you can see like the timer is like counting down. If I get caught in here, I'll die. Oh no! I think you might maybe get more marks depending on how many Blob gets out. I can jump forward to it.
Excellent work. Your efforts have deprived the Voth of a valuable asset.
What kind of marks do I need? Okay, see, I'm full tier 6 on all of these. So I'll just take the fleet marks. And I've got one more to do, but before I do that, I am just going to just give a quick overview of the event. I know I already talked about that it was, part of the annual campaign and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to show you the reward again here in the kit module because the only blog posts have not gone really in depth. In fact, they barely even mentioned that it's a kit module. Uh, Given what it is, I thought maybe it could even be, an armor set, that had this ability or something. But it's a universal kit module, means all the classes can use it. Enables the Voth exosuit for 90 seconds. So, like a Voth exosuit, that was that thing we saw on the ground, that, big robot pod suit. I guess it'll beam in or drop down or whatever. You'll beam inside that, okay? You have immunity to hold, so you can't be held while you're in the exosuit. 75% resistance to knockback, repel. Adds a bunch of health. Adds a bunch of physical kinetic energy and anti-proton resistance, and gives you a whole bunch of attacks. And so, let me switch over. We'll look at the blog post here. All right, Voth Invictus, starting March 16th. And it ends at 1 p.m. Pacific time, April 6th. I'm sure that's probably 3 weeks. I'm not looking at the calendar right this second, but if I had to guess, I would say that's 3 weeks. All right. This is just the same stuff I said before about you participate in an event. It takes 14 days out of the 3 weeks, so maybe it may be 1 day more or less than 3 weeks or something. It's probably 3 weeks. That's usually what they do. If you complete 2 weeks or 14 days, it's actually on a 20-hour cooldown, so you can squeeze in actually 1 or 2 more days if you do it every 20 hours. And while that's not generally particularly useful for getting your 14 days to get the prize from this specific event, every day that you complete, doesn't matter if you've already gotten the 14-day prize, also gives you the 50 points towards the grand prize, the event campaign, where you get to basically, have your option of, basically these are all ways to get your choice of a really cool ship, whether that's a special promo lockbox ship, the ones that you get from the loot boxes, basically, whether that's a low-buy crystal ship, which you buy at the low-buy store, which are ones you get with a small currency you get every time you open a loot box, is basically the only real way you get that. But this gives you a way to get low-buy crystal stuff. It's kind of the only way. They have given out some low-buy crystals very rarely on other occasions, but basically the only way to get them is from opening loot boxes or from this. But if you want it, you can get this, and you can get any of the low-buy ships or the space weapons or anything that are in the low-buy shop. They're fine. I don't think that they're any more special than these. And honestly, given 2 tier 6 ships out of the Zen store or one of these, the things about these, the low-buy crystal shops or the lockbox ships, is they are on the character you claim them with. The ship will be a per character unlock. That means you will unlock that ship on one single character. Now, if you are just playing one main character, and you're only ever planning on playing one more character, that is fine. And if you have other characters, maybe just to refine dilithium or something like that, um, you can do that if you're basically just going to have one main character on your account. Then this maybe you don't care about this. But if you are going to play multiple characters, even if that's just because you want to play around with different builds, or maybe even if it's just to you want more characters for farming dilithium because each one can refine 8,000 dilithium per day, and then you can combine them all together on whichever count you want. Um, so other than just slowly waiting, the only way to refine more dilithium is either to where you can buy Zen and convert that into dilithium in the exchange, so that some other player can get the advantage of getting the Zen to buy something in the store, or if you're a lifetime member, you get to refine a little bit more per day. It's not a whole lot more, but the only other way to refine more than 8,000 on your account per day is to have multiple characters on your account, and each one can do 8,000. So, I have, say, 10 or 15. Well, let's say 15. Let's be, because I've got like 75 characters, maybe even closer to 20 or 25 characters on my main account. So I can refine 8,000 per character, 8,000, times 20 characters. That's 160,000 I can refine in a day, assuming that they all have enough ore to do that, and then I can combine it. And that's every single day. Uh, it, the ships you get in the Zen store, okay, those are just like buying any ship. All right, it talks about you only claim them once per account, and they're tradable by putting them in your account bank between the characters. But that's the coupons. These ships, once you get the ships, any character can go in the Zen store and reclaim any ship you've bought, whether it's with a coupon or with Zen. And so then they have those access to those ships, access to the consoles, special weapons, um, potentially, like I said, with the Cardassians, the Yukawa frigates, the hangar pets, experimental weapons, uh, any of those sorts of things, as well as being able to get those tier 6 ships, just so that they can unlock the starship traits. That's one of the big things you want: the consoles, the starship traits. Those are the main things that you want out of the tier 6 ship, or and any of those special weapons, deflector dishes, anything like that that's unique to that ship. That often, sometimes they're bound to that class of ship, or ships that are part of that pack. Like, say, you can only use these on miracle worker ships, and they work on all the different miracle worker ships. Or say it'll say something like maybe only works on, can only be equipped by pilot ships or something. But a lot of them are universal, uh, like the Jem'Hadar ones. Like I was showing, those you can use on any ship. Doesn't even have to be Jem'Hadar ships. It can be any class of ships, any faction. Uh, so that gives you access to all those. That's the main difference between the ones you buy in the store. And I've said before, you get fleet modules. When you can buy a fleet module for each reputation. When you get the reputations to tier 6, there are 13 reputations. That gives you 13 fleet modules. It takes 5 to buy a tier 6 fleet version of a ship. Your fleet has to have that stuff unlocked, but it's usually no problem to find a fleet that has maxed out holdings that will invite you. You can always even just leave a fleet that you're with. Make sure you're friends or with somebody, or on their Discord or something, so you can get them to re-invite you. But you can just leave their fleet and ask in the zone chat. Say, hey, I need to join a fleet. I want to buy a fleet ship. Can somebody help me out? Somebody usually will let you join their fleet to buy a fleet ship. Almost every ship that is in the the Zen store, the C store, whatever they want to call it, the cash store, has a fleet version that you can get for 5 fleet modules for the tier 6 ones, and they are all better than the ones you buy in the store. Not a lot better. They have higher hit points, things like that. Basically, they just have somewhat better stats as far as just the pure numbers, as far as their hull points, shield points, things like that. Not there's no mega real differences other than that. Um, but what they don't come with is they don't have starship traits. So when you're doing the starship leveling up type thing, um, they only go up to level 4. They get all the bonuses. You can level them up so they get the bonuses that improve the ship, but they just don't have that 5th one that gives you the starship trait. So if you want to get starship traits, there's a few that you can get. There's one like in the Phoenix lockbox. You know, might be one or two you could buy on the store that came out of regular lock boxes, the cash gambling lock boxes. But basically, they almost all of them come from tier 6 ships. So the ones you get from the event, the summer, winter, anniversary event, that type of thing, and then these ones you get. So that covers that. Here are the rewards for actually just this event. So you get the Voth exosuit kit module. This is an account-wide unlock. It means every one of your characters from now till whenever can get it. You make a brand new character. As soon as you get past the very first couple of missions of the tutorial, where the reclaim rewards button happens, which is literally right after the first tutorial part, or you can just, if you skip the tutorial, then you can just get it right away. Um, so any of these weapons, kit modules, and things you have that are under the reclaim rewards, you can just reclaim those. You also get 25 dilithium ore. That is just on which these once only. That means those are only the first time you claim it, so you can't get 25,000 per character is all they're saying. You also get 3 of these TFO reward boxes. Each one gives you a specialization point or an enhanced universal tech upgrade. The enhanced universal tech upgrade, I would skip these. They're a decent upgrade, but they're certainly not any better than a Phoenix pack upgrade, which you can get lots of Phoenix boxes. You just get those with dilithium or free during the Phoenix event. You get 1 a day. Specialization points, that's probably what you're going to want, because once you get to level 65, to go up additional levels, which then you don't really go up a level, you just get a specialization point. That slows way down. It takes a lot more experience points to get a specialization point to put into your pilot specialization command, whatever. There's a whole handful of them. That's where you level up your character. You can have 2 primary and a secondary specialization, which gives you up to like the 3rd tier if it's a full specialization of special abilities, and you can switch those out whenever you want, but you need to level up at least the ones you're going to use, if not all of them, if you want to switch between them. This is the usual thing. After you finish the 14 days worth, whether that's on day 14 or day 20, actually, that same day you can do this first one. So as soon as you claim the reward, you can immediately run the event a second time and get 8,000 dilithium. Then the next time you do it, you'll get 9, 10, 11, 12, etc. That's ore. All right. Now let's look at the Voth exosuit. Okay, you can see it looks very similar. We'll have to wait and see in game when somebody gets one, or you get it yourself. But it looks very similar to the Voth exosuit that I was fighting on the ground combat zone, the Voth ground combat zone. All right. It doesn't really give all the stats, but it does describe it, okay? The technology and programming integrated into this universal kit module, okay, yes, I showed it in the game. In the reward thing, it's a universal kit module, all right? It provides access to Voth anti-proton machinery, so it uses AP weapons. After teleportation into this powerful mechanized exosuit, many tactical operations become available. The exosuit has a suite of technologies, including cannon bolt. That's probably the primary fire. Cannon scatter, that is probably the secondary fire, of the weapon, which is just, think of these like, if you use the like full auto machine gun type weapons, you know what I mean? Like you have the little single shot or burst shot, and then you have the full auto spray fire one. Okay, disengaging jump jets. I don't know if that's an ability you click or that just happens when you jump, but I imagine it's probably like a super jump, lets you get away from stuff quickly. Concentrated beam burst, that's most certainly an ability. And capacity to melt the ground, that's an ability. Electromagnetic pulse, once again another ability. And an immunity shield that allows an artillery barrage. I'm assuming that this is something that is used together. That's the thing that killed me at the beginning. Basically, it was inside of an immunity shield. Then it put a marker on the ground. You know what I mean? An indicator, and then it basically obliterated everything in that area, which did kill me. So this sounds like a really cool kit module to have. I could see it being useful. Hey, I'm about to die. I can hit this, and then suddenly I'm in the exosuit, which I'm sure probably has its own HP and shields uh, for the 90 seconds while it's active, which gives my normal shields and health a chance to recharge, as well as giving me all these massive damage abilities. I would imagine it probably doesn't move terribly fast, but since you're basically in a tank, a mech suit tank, uh, I don't think that will matter. Once again, here's the time. Uh, yeah, 3:16 at 8 a.m. Except that's when they were still patching uh, Pacific time. So it didn't. Okay, it started at 8 a.m., but the game was down because it was being patched with the new event in it. So it actually, really, the event started after that. But the ending time, that will be accurate. This will be noon Pacific time on April 6th. Actually, it says 1 p.m. Uh, Pacific time, April 6th in the game. I would take what it says in the game as being more accurate. Maybe this was what they planned, but because let's say it wasn't until 9 a.m. that they had the patch finished installed, they may have adjusted the time to 1 p.m. To make up for the hour we lost here. Just as in sometimes if there is some sort of a server problem or something like that, um, sometimes they will extend this a day or 12 hours or whatever, to try to make up for the time when the server is down. Sometimes that works in your benefit if the time it was down is time you couldn't play. Sometimes it does not work in your benefit if the time that it was down uh, is like the one time you could play. Like I was going to do the daily before I went to work, and the server was down, and then it came back up, and they gave me extra time, but they gave me extra time while I'm at work. So once again, here is the reward. You can see it's the Universal Kit module. It's sweet. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to do one more because I have one more account. And then I may sign off this stream and maybe switch to something else. I haven't decided yet, but I just wanted to make a quick little, just a run through of the event so that it would be up on my video on demand and up on YouTube to just basically cover the event and the three options that you have. So I am going to change character. Go back to the one I was just at before, but it did, the one that didn't have the pilot ship. I wanted my ice character pilot ship, so now I'm going to switch to my yeah. I see you haven't played this game yet, and you may want to give it a look. I did a video. It's fairly long. You may want to run it at a faster speed. It's on my YouTube. It's the first one in the list, or it should be on my videos on demand on the first one that basically covers the state of the game and all that good stuff. That was my new character. But yeah, I go over all the pluses and everything to this game. Basically, I really like this game. I'm a big Star Trek fan, so if you're a Trekkie, I would definitely say play this game. Any Star Trek really, but I would say even more so probably if you're a fan of any of the Next Generation era of Star Trek. So that would be Next Generation, um, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager. That's where the probably bulk of the storylines and the content goes. But there is stuff from the original series. A lot of the more recent stuff has been from Discovery. Uh, Picard, that sort of thing. Um, but yeah, I would recommend it, and a lot of the reasons why I would recommend it is that because this is a game that is truly free to play. You can play this game totally free. If you spend money in this game, basically you are spending money just purely because you want to, just to boost your progress time wise, or to avoid having to. I mean, like case in point. So I was just going over and I was talking about this annual campaign here, right? Which even if you start today, all right, on my account. See, I'm not even bothering to do the annual campaign on my other account because I still have like T6 coupons from previous campaigns sitting in my account bank that I could use to get T6 ships, extra ones out of the shop whenever I want. Um, but I got 1,100 out of this 3,500 in the first event. All right, the one that's ended right here. We are now in the second one that just started today, and you can it level scales you. It will level scale you up and all that sort of stuff. So while it will be tougher, and the other characters will kind of be players will kind of be carrying you, uh, it will boost your damage and stuff to sort of be at the level of whoever you're playing with. Uh, the only difference is while it will boost your level, if you look down here at my toolbars, I've got like 5 rows of stuff down here, abilities and things. When you start out, you will only have a fraction of abilities to use. So even if it increases your damage in numbers and your stats, it can't really make up for the lack of that you don't have all these different abilities unlocked from playing a long time. But you can see there are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 events throughout the year. We are now only in the second. You can see it on my brand new free to play account that I started for this stream. I was already at 1,100, and I missed the last couple of days because I had, doctor's appointments. I wasn't feeling well, this and that. I could have squeezed in a couple more and got it to 1,200. That's of course playing every 20 hours, not every 24 hours. So your mileage may vary if you can't move forward 4 hours every time you play. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely get 1,000, um, even if you're a little, slow. Like one day you play at 8 a.m. and the next day you play at like 10 a.m. Do the daily event, so you're actually like losing a little time every day. Even if that is the case, there still is plenty time available to get to 1,000 if you play basically every day. Um, and you can see we still have 4 events left, and you need 3,500 points to uh, to get there. And they also it carries over for a while. They do this sort of legacy thing, and it even talks about it in that article that I was just on. It said you can still get legacy progress. Um, and I haven't done that, so I can't tell you for sure exactly how it works. But I believe how it works is, so you get your campaign close to the end, then you can sort of finish it up by doing a little bit of the stuff in the next year's event if you miss out. But if you really want to push it, you can get all the way up here and get these T6 ships, or and they also have a buyout. You can buy it out. Right now it's that's to buy out the event that I didn't play. But see, to buy out that event would be 2,500. That's $25 US basically. The numbers just are a straight correlation, which is one of the things I really like about this game. Is it's not shady about that stuff. But basically, don't ever get the lock boxes, the keys to open the lock boxes. Just ignore the whole lockbox system. I have never opened lock boxes in all my years of playing. All my accounts are in great shape. There's nothing in there I need that I haven't been able to just buy from people selling them on the exchange, which you just buy for the regular in-game currency of EC, energy credits. It's basically like a nothing currency. So yeah, it's not worth stressing about. But you can complete these at the end if you haven't finished it, and just like the event, you can buy out the event. It's 2,500. This goes down. This is to do all 14 days. This is directly proportional to how many days. So if you only get so many days, you can buy those out if you want to do that. But I would say if you are going to buy something, and always checking these promotional tabs because they have free stuff in here all the time you can get. You could just buy basically any of these tier 6 ships that you want for they're $30. Okay? It's not that big a deal. But you can see, look at all these. I have all of these. Tier 6 ships. This is my 100% free to play account. I haven't put a penny into this account. And I've got all those ships. And I feel like that's not even showing all the ships that I feel like I've got some other ones. Do I have some other ones? Because I thought I had the Intrepid. Oh yeah. See, that's not even all of them. There's the Intrepid. Got the Romulan ship. Okay, I've like basically bought all these ships by converting the in-game currency, the dilithium currency, the limited time gated currency that you get, into stuff to buy in the C store. I've also bought stuff in Mud's Market. This is a place where they have special bundles in here, and then they also have where you can get stuff basically from previous events. A lot of the previous event stuff goes into the Phoenix prize pack, but the stuff that doesn't, you can buy here. So you can see, like I bought this combat pet, and this becomes an account unlock under personnel. You can see I got this because I bought the Gamma Starter Kit. I highly recommend that. If you want a good, cheap way to get into a T6 ship, and you're going to play, especially if you want to play a Dominion character, the Vanguard Jem'Hadar character's a lot better than the regular one. We've got the Pharisans, and Remand, that unlocks actually by playing the game. You don't have to buy that one. Combat pets. I thought I had. Oh yeah, Cations. I've got the Cations purchased. So all those things I bought by doing conversion. So that they didn't cost me a penny. And also, if you look, so if I go in here to reclaim rewards, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 of these T6 ships. These are just from the 3 ships that they give away every year. they do the anniversary event. You just missed that. That was the beginning of February, I believe. They give away a T6 ship. I didn't bother getting that on this account just because I've got so many ships and so many accounts, and I was just taking a break from the game. Then they do a summer event that will be coming up. Those would be the Ryzen ships. You don't get to pick these ships, but these are also special. You can't get these in the store or anywhere else. And then they do a winter event. And once again, every one of these, they have an event that you. It's one of these types of things where you do it 20 days over 3 months or whatever it is, and then you get those free. Then I've got all this space equipment. Okay, all this stuff. These ones that are gray, I just can't claim them because I've already got them on this character. So a lot of these things you can only claim. You just can't have two on the same character at the same time. So if I delete it off the character, I could claim it again. All this ground equipment. I've got all of this stuff. Okay. Catherine Janeway, holographic engineer, combat synth android, combat pet, special weapons, special kit modules, etc. All this stuff I can just reclaim whenever I want. Those are just things that you get from the events from playing the game. So, I mean, this game is, I mean, this character and this account is stacked. It's got so much stuff, including like all those races and stuff from in the store, that when I when I played it on stream on the first day, I think that this is the one I was playing on the day one when I go over all the stuff for the game. It's got so much stuff that I was looking for something that I had bought from the store, and I was like, why can't I find my thing that I bought from the store? Like, or maybe it wasn't from the store. Maybe it was something that I had got from an event or something. And I'm like, I know I got that. I was like, man, there must be a bug. It must have gotten like removed from my account or something for some reason because I had so much stuff. I had forgotten. Whoop, still got that box on the screen, and didn't realize that I was playing my free to play account. I thought I was on my my main paid account because I was like, why don't I see it? Like, where's my stuff? And it was like, oh. And then I realized at the end when I was logging out, I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's why I didn't have that thing. I was like, I don't have that thing because this is my free account. But I forgot because I had so much stuff that I couldn't at a glance tell the difference between my paid account and my free account. So yeah, I mean, if you hate Star Trek, then it's probably not the game for you because everything's very Star Trekky. But as far as a free to play MMO, I really like it. The ground combat is it's okay. The space combat that's where I really like it. I really like the basically like space like battleship type combat. Do I have mines? Oh yeah, I do have mines. I have the blackout mines from Discovery. But yeah, as far as a free to play game, this game is one of the best out there. Like I said, between they give you all the fleet modules when you get your reputations up to tier 6, you get all the fleet modules. So that alone, like even if you're not going to buy any C store ships, even if you're not going to do the annual campaign and get the coupons for the free C store ships, you get by doing the 13 reputations, which you're going to want to do for the ground and the space abilities anyway. You're going to be able to buy a fleet module from every one of those. That gives you 13 at the moment. They probably will add more reputations, as they already have added 2 or 3 since I started playing the game. So I expect that they will probably add more. That's a safe bet. But for 5 fleet modules, also don't buy fleet modules in the store, because you will get free ones from the reputation system. You can get basically any T6 ship that's like in the store, but the better version of it, the fleet version. The fleet version has more hit points, more shields. Basically, it just has slightly better stats. I don't remember. Let's say like 10 or 15% more. Not like game breakingly better. What they don't get is when you don't get the starship skills, which you can have up to 5 starship traits assigned at once. And the way you get those is by leveling up your starship. When you have a tier 6 ship, see starship mastery upgrades. The fleet ships will only go up to tier 4. Tier 5 is the one that gives you the starship trait, and those starship traits, you can use those. They equip to your character just like the rest of your traits. So, like obviously, if you want 5, there are a couple of places that you can get one that does not come from a ship, but basically they come from getting a ship up to that level, which you get them from the event ships and everything else. So it's not that big a deal. So you'll get them, but yeah, you get those from your different ships. So what you're getting when you're buying a ship is, yes, you do get the ship. You can use it right away. Also, in the current iteration of the game, the ships scale. So if you get a T6 ship, you don't have to wait until you're level 50 to use it. You can start using it right away. It will just have some of the weapon slots and the console slots and whatnot blocked off. And at every 10 levels, when you go up a rank, more of those slots will open up for you to use. And they will actually be much more powerful than the ships that they give you for free. You get a free ship every 10 levels. You get to pick one out of 3, basically. If you're a Romulan, you don't really get to pick. There's a couple ranks where you get to pick, but usually you just get the ship. But I mean, they're all good ships. It's fine, not a problem. But that gives you a chance to kind of play around with a few of the different ships while you're learning the game. But yeah, if you have store ships, event ships, they will be better, even with stuff blocked off, because they'll still have more stuff. Like, say your ship you start out with that has like, I don't remember. Let's say it has 2 weapons in the front and 1 weapon in the back. Okay, this has 4 in the front, 3 in the back, which is a lot for a carrier. Usually it's 3 and 3. But say I started with this carrier ship, right? Well, I would have 2 bays full of carriers that I can, of ships that I can launch out right from the get-go. And I would probably even have 4, potentially like 4 weapons instead of 3 starting out. So even though it's scaled back, it's still better than what you would actually start with. That's something to keep in mind. If you play the game for a little while and you're like, oh yeah, I think I'm going to play it, certainly at least for, a few months, fully level out character, all that good stuff, get to the end game, be playing all the end game content, then it may be worthwhile if there's this particular ship you want because you like it from the show or anything like that. There is an advantage to getting the ship early in that you can already use it. You used to have to wait until you were high enough rank to use them, and so there wasn't any point. Which was something I kind of liked about the game, is that, they're giving you free ships all along, and then when you get towards the end, you're getting towards the end game. I mean, it's really more the midway point. Once you get to like max level, there still is a lot of upgrading, and like I said, with the reputation system and special captain specializations and all these things that you get to do, that are still super useful. Before you're really have a max character. Also getting all your characters, all your equipment up to rank 15, mark 15 equipment. the only way to do that is to actually use the upgrades on them and upgrade them. The stuff you get even when you're at full highest rank will be Mark 12. That's considered like sort of max level, but then obviously you can upgrade it up to 15, which is much, much more powerful than 12. But yeah, so, but I mean, it's like by the time it used to be, you couldn't use those tier 6 weapons and stuff until you were basically like level 50. And so it was like, oh, by the time it's like time to spend $30 on getting a ship, you'd already been playing the game for a week, so you just certainly knew whether or not you liked it, whether or not to invest in it. But they just have kept adding, like they didn't used to have the annual campaign. Now they have the annual campaign where you can get literally any ship that you want from the C store, from the cash shop. 2 of them actually with those coupons, or if you want one of the ones that comes in the gambling like loot boxes, you can get one of those for free every single year. They have an annual event. You can get a whole bunch of ships that you want. It used to be like you were going to have to get fleet ships, and they didn't have tier 6, so you didn't even get the things to get the fleet ships. You didn't even get free. Now you get those free, which lets you get the better fleet versions of any ship that you want. So that's cool. Then on top of that, they give you the coupons every year. It used to be if you were going to play totally free, you would either have to convert some of the in-game currency into the pay currency to eventually buy a ship, the specific ship you wanted out of the store, or you would just play with the ones that you got from the summer event and the winter event. And those ships are good a lot of times. And in fact, a lot of times they have a lot of ships that are that have features that no ship you can buy in the store has. I feel like a lot of times they use it kind of as a test to test out things that they're like, let's test this and see if it's a good playable ship design or idea that we can use on maybe some of the ships in the store or whatever going forward. Like, say I have 4 weapons in the front and 3 in the back. Okay, your big heavy cruisers like your Enterprise, they have 4 ships in the front, 4 ships in the back. But they generally don't have hangar slots unless you're talking about the one that has the version that has the 3 nacelles, the Enterprise F from the future. But dreadnoughts and things, and cruisers, they tend to have 8 weapons. That's usually the max. If you fly an escort type ship, something like the Defiant, like a small combat ship that's like really fast, they tend to have 7 weapons, 5 in the front, 3 in the back, and then they have a special weapon. They call it an experimental weapons slot that uses weapons that only come on and are only usable by escort ships or interceptors or other things that fall under that escort ship variety. You have science ships. Hangars or carriers are kind of science ships, but they don't have the all the science ship have the sensor scan ability, and then they also have every ship has a deflector dish, but science ships have a secondary deflector dish, which uses a different type of deflector called a secondary deflector, which basically is just more deflectors abilities, which boost all your science abilities. So they all have their own special sorts of things about them. Okay, but they had a unique sort of cruiser ship during one of the summer events, which kind of had an opposite weapon configuration. Instead of having, if it has more weapons, putting them in the front, it had 3 weapon slots in the front and 5 in the back. And that's kind of weird because usually you're gonna, face the enemy. When you're attacking them, you're going to be doing strafing runs and that types of thing. But it actually lends itself to a lot of neat stuff. One thing you'll find when using like photon torpedoes, right? Which most torpedoes There's one or two exceptions, but most torpedoes, they have a 90-degree field of fire in this game. That's one thing. See, so like, so if you move your cursor over something, see, it shows you the area in front that it fires. That one's 360. All right. So the field of fire of the weapons, whether you want to be broadside, pointed at something, pointed away, etc. So your photon torpedoes, your quantum torpedoes, etc. Most of those have a 90-degree field of fire, so it's in the front. So you have to, when you want to fire them, you have to turn into the enemy and point the front of your ship at them. Well, they're trying to turn into you, and you're trying to turn into them. So doing that is not the easiest thing in the world. Especially if you're in something big and slow like this carrier ship that I'm flying at the moment. Okay. So what that means is it's often hard to get your photon torpedoes fired off unless you're in an escort or a pilot ship or something that's fast to point the front. But if your torpedo's on the back, it's easy to turn away, because if you turn away, the enemy basically is going to sort of chase you. It's sort of standard sort of dogfighting stuff. But so if you have the torpedoes on the back, it tends to be much easier to hit them than it is when they're on the front. And then also, if you're using mines that you're dropping off the back, having those extra slots in the back can be good. You can be like turning away, and you can be dropping mines on them, as well as having more beam weapons on the back. Some weapons you can only put on the front, like your dual beam bank, which has a 90-degree field of fire. Your dual heavy cannons, which has a 45-degree field of fire. Those can only go on the front. But most weapons, it doesn't matter if you put them on the front or the back. And so it was actually really interesting having 5 weapon slots in the back and 3 in the front, which is something that I haven't seen on any other cash shop ship, fleet ship, anything like that. And there's some other things that they've done that I can't think of right now. See if I'm pretty sure all these reputations are they're all tier 6. So I'll take fleet marks, I guess. So there are some unique things in the ships that they put out for event ships, where they may try something. That one that's right here in the loading screen, 13th anniversary. I didn't get it. Kind of wish I would have, because it actually is pretty cool. But that was the most recent free ship. Once again, it's cool. You'll see a lot of people around playing it. There's just not really any. I would say if there's any downside to the ships that they give away free in the event, it would just be, and it's not really a downside. It's just that they won't usually have these special mechanics for those types of ships. Like if you have a miracle worker ship, it has this sort of thing up here where it'll put 3 colors in it, like red, yellow, blue, or red, blue, or whatever. And so if you use one of these red tactical abilities and then a blue ability like a science ability, it will trigger a random effect that happens. Or like if you're flying the Jem'Hadar Vanguard vessels, you'll see that they have wingmen down here. You have 2 wingman ships on your side, and you can give them abilities to either they'll strafe and either wear down an enemy shield, or they will attack their hull, or they will come and heal your ship. Those types of special things do not tend to be on the event ships. So if you get a miracle worker ship, it will still have the thing where you'll have the extra universal console slot, like this one. I only have a universal console slot because I've made this an experimental, a T6X. I use an experimental upgrade on this ship, which gives you that extra slot. But a miracle worker ships already have an extra console slot in addition to the regular ones, and if you did that to a miracle worker ship, then you would have 2 extra slots. But yeah, this is a pretty good ship. I mean, I've got the nice fleet tactical consoles. I mean, I've got the elite hangar pets. I mean, everything's Mark 15. My shield is even epic. It's it's the gold color. These are like ultra, the purple color, the dark purple, the regular purple. The rares. So you can do all of this stuff on a free account. It just takes a little bit of time. I'd say like inside of a year, if you didn't know how to play and you weren't watching guides or anything like that, you would be in a good spot. Easily inside of a year. You would definitely be at end game. You would probably have all your equipment could easily be Mark 15. If you know what you're doing, like on my other free to play account, which I'm not even playing every day, my new one I set up just for the stream, I anticipate having my main character on that account to Mark 15, and I anticipate having my reputation to tier 5, which used to be the max you could do. But the great thing about once you get him up to tier 5, uh, in each reputation, then every other character on your account, when they are doing the see, I only have the hourly, not the daily, because I'm already up to tier 6. But when you're doing these projects that give you experience to level up your tiers to get you all these extra unlocks of abilities and these extra special things you can make, like all these special space sets, ground sets, special space equipment, special. This is all killer stuff that you get here. All right, these sets are really good. Really all the good stuff in this game, more or less, you don't buy it in the store. The only stuff you buy in the store are like ships, which I've already talked about. You don't have to buy any ships in the store because there's other ways to get them. Races, if you want some of the extra races, but once again, the races that you get in the store, I would say, other than the Jem'Hadar, okay. If you sorry, there's the store. If you do Dominion, okay, right, the Jem'Hadar Vanguard is just straight up better than the regular Jem'Hadar. And those are the only 2 playable races in the Dominion. You can either be a Jem'Hadar or a Jem'Hadar Vanguard. This is the only one that is just a straight up improvement. These other races, the Pharisan, the Caitians, some of these are just bridge officers, not races. The Reman, this you get for free just by finishing. All you have to do is just finish this one season. This Romulan mystery one. You just do this one season, and then you get the remans, and you can, and they're not that great anyway. They have some cool costume pieces like cloaks and stuff, so they look cool, but their abilities aren't that great. Being able to play a Klingon on the Federation side, I mean, okay, whatever. Like, they're basically good at melee combat. Whatever. You can play Klingons on the Klingon side, like, whenever you want anyway. Join Trill, I guess, are better than regular Trill, but there's none of these are like Cardassians. They're pretty good, but most of these like are not better than any of the free races. And I say that, but now there are races that are the bonuses between the different races are not massive. Okay, they're just differences. They're not as big as they are in a lot of other games. So I wouldn't stress it. But the free ones can easily be just as good as the paid ones. I would say if you're starting a new character, I always recommend that you create an alien character because their ability is one of the best. Like this is an alien character, okay? So if you look under the details, one additional trait choice. Okay. The way this works is if you clicked on this and it was the Cations, it would say, oh, they can jump higher and they can do a pounce attack or whatever. They've got a couple of things. They dodge some of the shots fired at them on the ground. The aliens, they have probably the most variety in the tailor or in the character creator, um, which you can change at any time at the tailor, of how you make them look. They have the most options for height, skin color, all that sorts of stuff. You know what I mean? Like head shapes. So they're the most flexible, and you can change them later to look like whatever you want. So don't worry about how they look when you start. You can change them at any time while you're playing. Everything about them, their height, their weight, all that sort of stuff. The only thing you can't change after you start is their race and their class. Everything else you can change after the fact. All right. Normally you have 9 of these ground traits and 9 of these space traits, and then this one that says lock. That's a new upgrade thing they've added that you can upgrade your character to get a couple more slots. The alien has 10 starting out from jump. Has 10 ground slots and 10 space slots. So rather than just have a different ability themselves, you actually have a whole extra slot. And there's all these things that you can pick what you want. And there are extra things you can get at the store and from completing missions that you can actually get extra things in here to pick from for your personal space and personal ground traits. Okay. So having an extra slot is really better than basically almost any other character, more or less. There are some that have a couple of neat abilities, like the Jemadar Vanguard. They've got some good buffs. The Cardassians have some good buffs, but mostly whatever their buff is does not make up for the fact that you can have something really cool, like some stuff that even has come out of lockboxes that I've bought, and like this Hive Defense. Okay, that was something that came out of a lockbox. I just bought it in the in-game exchange store from another player selling one. This is way cooler than any ability that any character class has, and it just takes up 1 slot, and I've got an extra slot. Okay, it's just when I take damage, it automatically summons Herc attendants, which are like these giant scorpion bugs that then attack my enemies. So anytime somebody shoots me, I have monsters that just automatically go and attack them. I mean, what's cooler than that? You know what I mean? Like that's pretty cool. Uh, Adaptive offense. This is really cool. Increased critical chance, increased critical severity, all this good stuff. You just can do so much more as an alien. And unless you have a specific preference for, because you watch the show or something like that, as to which faction you're going to start playing for, I would say don't start as the Jem'Hadar. They start out at like level 60. All right, you're going to start out at like the end game. They start out with a decent tier 5 ship, not a tier 6 ship, but a decent tier 5 ship with all like purple Mark 12 equipment and all that stuff. But it's still not anywhere near as good as like the Mark 15 equipment that I've gotten. And a lot of these are rewards and things from missions. You can get a lot of this good stuff if you in the episodes, if you skip down through the missions and you get down here to like New Frontiers, Future Proof, Gamma Quadrant, these things have really, really great rewards. If you look at what they are, space set weapons, space shields. I mean, like this Bajoran set that I'm using. All right. Other than the warp core, which you have to, it was on an event ship, but you can still get it out of a Phoenix prize pack. It's not hard to get. But the shield, the engine, the deflector, these are all set pieces. So having the set gives you extra bonuses, and they're all very good in their own right with their own special abilities. You get this for doing a mission. The Cilia and Charybdis missions, which is right here. This mission.
Starfleet intelligence believes
See, look.
a Zenkethi attack on an Alliance world could happen.
You get it right here. So you do this mission, you pick one of these, you do it again, you get the other one, you do it. So for you do this mission 3 times, you get that 3-piece set. Another great one is this melting pot one. It's actually got all 4 pieces of a 4-piece set. They're very powerful. That's usually my go-to. So you can get all this stuff starting out, and if you get it starting out, it will level up for free. You right click on it, and you would go to upgrade, and it would be free until it gets to Mark 12. So watch my other videos if you want. I explain how to do all that stuff. But yeah, you can get all this great stuff for free. There's no reason to spend any money in this game. If you spend it, it's literally just because you want to. Like I said, the only things really spend money on, I would say, by and large, are if you want to buy a ship, and the only other thing I would do is I would spend money, like even on my free to play stream account, just in the essence of saving time because I'm streaming it. What I did do was I bought $10 worth of Zen, which ended up being $1,200 because they were giving, it was during the sale, so they were giving a 20% bonus on the conversion. And then what I did was I just took that and I went over here to the assets. Keep in mind, first time you buy something in the store, it won't let you do this for 7 days. But I went to the exchange. You can buy stuff in the store, but I went to the exchange and I went to sell Zen and I sold it all at 500 a piece, and I got myself 600,000 dilithium. And then I took almost all of that and I bought these Phoenix prize packs times 10. Okay? These are great. These are the only lock boxes I encourage you to get. And that's because they don't cost any money. And you open these and you either get like, well, it used to be uncommon, but now it starts at rare. So you get like rare, very rare, ultra rare, or epic coupons out. Then when you open one, I don't think I have one where I can open it to show you the store for that. But you open it and it opens up this thing where you can get all this great gear at the higher tiers, and at the top tier there's the epics. If you get epics, there's tier 6 ships you can get. Now they only unlock for this one character, but that's fine because you're not even spending real money. Or well, I guess if you convert dilithium, then you are spending some money. But you get my point. So there's all this free gear, ships, duty officers, admiralty ships, all the sorts of stuff that you get out of these. And you can take an epic and you can convert that into 2 very rares, and take very rares and convert them into 2 rares, and take a rare or a very rare and split that. You can get 2 rares for that. So you can break them down by doubling them to the lowest level if you want. But at the very lowest level, the worst thing you can get, the lowest coupon, all right? There's a lot of good, decent stuff in there. There's some emotes, like little hand signs and dances and stuff. Don't worry about any of that. You'll just want to scroll all the way down to the bottom of that one. And at the bottom are the Phoenix upgrades. I may have... No, I don't have one of those on this character right now. But those are, in my opinion, the best upgrades in the game. To use a regular upgrade, like one of these stupid upgrades, all right, 5,000 tech points, and they're for specific things: engines, cannons, whatever. They're the Phoenix ones you can use on anything. ground equipment, space equipment, weapons, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can use them on anything you want. But when you use these, you have to also provide dilithium to use them. The Phoenix Prize Pack ones, you do not need to spend any dilithium. So you spend the dilithium up front, you get these tokens, these coupons, which you may get better coupons, which you can trade in for multiples of the lesser coupons or get the fancier prizes up high. And at worst case, you get one of the best upgrades in the game. So I did put some money in just to convert, just to get some Phoenix Prize Pack tokens, so that I could upgrade some of my equipment on my top level characters on my free to play account, which only took, less than a week. I was at max level. But to upgrade their stuff to Mark 15, because the difference between Mark 12 and Mark 15 is a big difference. So yeah, that's the only things I'd say spend cash on. One more just quick thing I want to mention in the store, the starter packs. Okay. This one particularly, I don't remember what it costs. It's already purchased, so I can't see it, but it's less than $20. Okay. This is a great deal. If you are like, I don't know what ship but I would like to give myself a little boost. I don't want to use the free ships that they're giving me every 10 levels. This is a definite option. The only downside to this ship is the Jem'Hadar ships had a mechanic where you had to remember where I showed this mastery, and it goes up to tier 5, and then you get the starship traits. The Jem'Hadar have a tier. These Jem'Hadar Vanguard ships have a tier 6, which then unlocks it for every type of character, not just Jem'Hadar to fly. So you do have to do that one time. So you would have to make a Jem'Hadar character, and then just go through the tutorial. And then the fastest way to level up, to gain that starship experience, is to do patrols. These patrols are the fastest way. Particularly, my favorite one is this wanted one. It's easy. Those will give you the most ship experience to level up the ship to unlock it. But this is a great deal for, I think it's less than $20. Okay, you get a T6 Jem'Hadar Dreadnought Cruiser. Okay, a Dreadnought Cruiser. That means you have 8 weapons, 4 in the front, 4 in the back. It's a cruiser, so that means it's tanky, and it's a Dreadnought, which means it also has 1 hangar. You don't get 2 like you do on a carrier, but you have 1 hangar of hangar ships, and it's a Jem'Hadar Vanguard, so you also have the wingmates or whatever over here that you can send off to attack. So you get all of that for like $20. You get a really a really great ship. Okay, that has a console that you can put on any ship. It's not locked to any ship. You can use it on any ship in the whole game. And you'll get a starship trait, which then you can, once you get to level 50, obviously you can apply it to your character. I don't remember which one it is, but whatever. Still a starship trait. You also get the Jem'Hadar Vanguard species, which, as I mentioned, is basically Jem'Hadar is the only Dominion race you can play. This is the better version. You get a better uniform for them, and then a couple of titles don't mean anything, but you get a couple of titles. But basically, for less than the cost, the $30 to buy another T6 ship, for it's less than 20. I think it's like $16 or $18 for this starter pack. Okay, you get this T6 Jem'Hadar Vanguard cruiser. You unlock it, then you can use it for every character on your account, and you get the playable Jem'Hadar Vanguard race. So it's win-win. And you get this Jem'Hadar tactical uniform, which everybody can wear, not just Jem'Hadar. So I really recommend it. It's a good deal. These other starter packs, I've got them. This is my free to play account. I got them because, once again, it was like This one I got because I wanted the tardigrade combat pet. I don't know why it's not showing it on there, but that was part of that when I got it. Oh, because this is the reclaim. That's why it just put it in this other slot. This one I got. That's why we got the temporal battle cruiser T6 paladin ship. The TOS ship. It is what it is. But maybe it's $20. If I look at these other ones, these say, $20. Maybe they're up to $20. With inflation. But yeah, I would really recommend this one is the best. I mean, as far as what ship you get, and you get the better version of the Jem'Hadar. That's something to consider. But I'd get those. Spending money on that is fine. Spending money on a ship is fine. Spending money to convert into dilithium just to speed your way along of the time it would take you to farm that dilithium at only being able to convert 8,000 per day per character. That's fine. If I go to change characters, can you still make a Klingon recruit? Oh, I can't. Hold on. I'm gonna log this character out. I'll go back to my free to play account. The Klingon event might be over now. Let me see if it's still showing. Yeah, it's not showing the Klingon. Okay, so the Klingon event's over for the Klingon recruit. But also, if there's any recruit event going on at any time, always make yourself one, even if you're not going to play it right now. Yeah, even if you're not going to play it right now. I mean, like that bird of prey from Discovery is a T6 ship that I now have unlocked on all my accounts. It's free just because I created one of these Klingon recruits. That's what this little fancy little symbol next to him means, is he's a Klingon recruit. There's a Delta recruit. There's a Jem'Hadar Dominion recruit. There's a temporal agent. There are these extra little things that they ran when the new content came out. If you ever see one of these up here with like sparkling, and they're talking about that there's a recruit event going on or a temporal agent event, make one. You don't have to play them right now. Just make the character during the event, do the first part of the tutorial where you get a special item, which I'll show you what I mean when I say you get a special item. You'll get this item. It happens real early in the tutorial. You just need to do enough of the tutorial. I mean, when I say early, I mean like, a third of the way through the first part of the very first mission of the tutorial. All right. In this case, I got this. This one is the Klingon encrypted receiver, and basically, it just has basically these benchmark goals of things to do with this character, and then anytime you do one, you get a reward, and most of them you get a reward for this character to help move this character along, but you also get a reward for your whole account. So, like in this case, this T6 Bird of Prey, full T6, has a starship trait, all that good stuff. Totally free. Once again, another free T6 ship. I've got a vanity shield on it. See, I got a vanity shield. That's the Reman shield. But yeah, once again, totally free. Whenever you can make one, just make one. You can always play them later, but you have to make them during the event. And they'll also have special extra stuff during the game, like when you're playing it. A lot of times there'll be like little extra content, little extra things that you see that you wouldn't normally see when you're playing the game. Like the Delta Recruit, you'll go around and collect these extra little modules with extra little bits of lore and stuff on various missions. They'll tell you which one. The Klingon one, there's 4 or 5 of these like little fugitive guys you got to hunt down that are on certain missions. I mean, it's not like it's not a big thing to hunt them down. They're just there. You just have to kill them. It's just like one little extra enemy guy that you kill, and it's not like a mini boss. It's just like a dude. Okay, but they're bounties. There's guys that have bounties on them, and it will tell you like, oh, there's somebody with a bounty close, and you kill them, and you just for killing that one guy, you get a bonus reward for your whole account. And the rewards often are different between the actual recruit and what you get on the account, which is fine. Because sometimes the stuff they give you for the recruit wouldn't necessarily help you all that much on your whole account. But usually you get reputation marks, fleet marks. Like I said, sometimes you get ships, you get kit modules, you get special weapons. And there's a guy you reclaim those from. I didn't show it, but yeah, there's a guy. You just have to, when you create a new character, they have to be, I think, level 20 to reclaim them, to claim the events from all the recruits. But yeah, most of my, not on the newest account, I have the Klingon one because they just brought that back. They bring these events back from time to time. Like I said, they just brought back the Klingon one, so I have a Klingon recruit on that brand new account I just created. But on my other accounts, I have all of them. You know, the Temporal Agent, the Klingon recruit, the uh, Gamma recruit, which is the Dominion Jem'Hadar one, and the Delta recruit, which is the Delta Quadrant Voyager one. So yeah. Oh, and one other thing I would say, starting a new account is don't pick the Klingon faction. And if you pick Romulan or Jem'Hadar, where you get to pick after the tutorial if you want to be on the Federation side or the Klingon side, pick the Federation side. The Klingon side is fine, but for your first account, there are more players, more active fleets, and all that sort of stuff on the Federation side. And you can't join a Federation fleet if you're a Klingon character. You have to join a Klingon fleet, and there are plenty of them. It's not like there aren't any. There are, but you will just find more on the Federation side, and there are more players on the Federation side. Um, just as a general rule, because there are more factions that are Federation aligned. Um, More people just like the Federation side in general. Um, and also a lot of times you can't team up with experienced players. You can't join a party with them to go do a mission. Any content you do in the game, whether it's those TFOs like you saw me do, the event things, those are called task force operations. Those space and ground missions that you do, and then they give you do a thing, and it gives you a bunch of marks as a reward, and then event credit. You can team up and do those, but any of the in-game episodes that are parts of the seasons, you can team up. There are a couple of exceptions. There's 1 or 2 exceptions where you can't. There's ones where you start playing, and then it will put you in the role of, like, you will be then playing as like Nog or Quark or whatever for a short period of the mission. Any of the ones that do that, you can't do multiplayer, but almost every mission, like 95+% of them, you can play co-op. So you'll have an easier time if you go Federation on your first account, because you'll have more people that can team up with you and help you out. So that's my only thing. Other than that, I'm gonna sign off for now, and I'm going to make some lunch. I don't know if I will be back today. Probably not. Maybe tomorrow. But thanks. I appreciate everybody watching and sticking around. And this video will be here in the video on demand and on my YouTube channel. There should be a link in my channel description. And once again, like I said, if you haven't played the game yet and you're giving it a look, maybe go back and watch my first video, which is like 2023 and the free to play state of the game or whatever, where I go over more of what I'm just talking about here at the end about the game in general, and then the first few days of playing the new game, I show you a lot of shortcuts. Like, okay, once you get in, if you know, and especially easy with YouTube, and where you can like multiply the speed and you can skip around and all that sorts of stuff. Play it back at fast speed. Um, I show you basically some missions you should go do first to get yourself a bunch of good starting gear. Because rather than do the early missions, which the rewards are really poor in the seasons. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing the story in order from the story standpoint. You know what I mean? But it doesn't hurt to just jump ahead and do a couple of the end game missions, even if you're just doing like that one mission 3 times in a row, or a couple of them 3 times or 4 times in a row to get all the rewards available in that mission, the whole sets. Because those sets, when you get them, they will match to your level. So early on, they may be Mark 3 or Mark 4 items, but then as you level up, every time you go up a rank, you can upgrade it to marks. So like once you get to like level 30, then you can upgrade them to Mark 6. Then once you get to level 40, you can upgrade them to Mark 8 or whatever. Maybe my numbers might be off, but you get to go up 2 every time you go up 10 levels. You will right click on them and go to upgrade, and you won't have to spend any actual upgrade items to upgrade them. They will just upgrade for free until you get to Mark 10. So you can get the equipment at the beginning, and it will be good all the way until you get to level 50 before you ever even need to use an upgrade to upgrade them. So it just gives you a big boost to have a good set of equipment, and then you're not constantly having to swap out whatever loot you're getting from mission rewards or picking up just from playing the game, from character, from drops from people you're killing or whatever. You will just have a good base set of equipment on your ship or whatever that you can use through your whole leveling process, basically all the way from around level 13 is when you usually get out of the tutorial, and then you can jump to the end and grab these good items. But from like 13 to level 65, you'll be able to use the same equipment. You'll be able to use the same equipment until you get your reputation up high, and then you can get some reputation equipment, or you can even just stick with some of that equipment. Like you saw on my character I was just playing, I was using the Bajoran set that you get from the Cilia and Charybdis mission, and it was still end game viable. So that will just save you a lot of time. But yep, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Like I said, give the game a look. I'm playing a couple other games that I think are free to play friendly. Idle Champions. I know that's a very, very different game. It's not really an MMO. But once again, you can play that totally free. There is no need whatsoever to spend a penny on it. And then I've started playing, what's new to me is I've started playing Genshin Impact. And while I know it can be a whale out game that just sucks your wallet dry, I've watched a few videos, and from what I've seen is, I mean, since you're basically playing a single player game, uh, if you just don't waste your resources, you know, I watched a couple videos, basically just don't do this, don't waste these resources, you'll need them later. Also, like, don't level up all your characters, like level up one character, you know what I mean, and a couple of your supports or whatever. As long as you're frugal with your resources, and as long as you're not trying to, I've got to get this specific character, or I've got to get every character, or any of this ridiculous wailing out, it looks like it will also be definitely free to play friendly. Once again, most of these games where they don't force you to do PvP can be free to play friendly. When they force you to do PvP, or they're just really like gating your progress, or really making the game unfun, and then selling you the solution like, oh yeah, look, this is really miserable, but if you buy this thing, then that miserable part will go away. as long as they're not doing horrible stuff like that, I can deal with it. I get that it's got loot boxes, but you get a lot of them for free. So long as you don't just get hooked on the loot boxes and feel like you have to get certain things, I think it'll be fine. It's not as good as Star Trek on the free to play. Star Trek, I would say, like, I don't see any reason to ever open loot boxes, except on the rare occasion where they give you a couple of free keys. Then open a couple. You know what I mean? But if they don't give you, that happens very rarely, and I would never spend a few dollars on a key to open a loot box for just some randomness that could just be pure garbage. Something totally useless on the 1 in 1,000 chance that I'll get a special chip. I mean, okay, that's dumb. Like, you can buy them in the exchange if you need them. You can get these free coupons by playing the game all year. It's like, if you just really, really want to gamble, then you can, but there's no reason to do it. And in fact, you're almost de-incentivized to do it. But yep, this is me signing out. Hope y'all have a great day, and I'll be back, maybe today, probably not, but I'll probably be back tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Thanks.